Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel, Heidi's Road to Happiness. Heidi here. All right, people, today we're going to talk a little bit about growth. We all grow in our life, and sometimes it takes us a while to grow to where we want or need to be. Now, 9 years ago, I started my journey. Okay, 9 years ago, in 2000, January 2015, uh, I left the house. I left what I knew. I left the only thing I had for 34 years, and I left that all behind because I wasn't happy. I had to move forward. Now, during this time, it was pretty hard, and I had some good support. I had love and support from my friends and family, and a lot of guilt. Oh, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, and I didn't know how to handle it. But what happened was, you know, I left the house 2015. I lost Dad in 2016. Now, Dad and I had some good times when I moved in with him after Wendy had passed, and Kira and I were on our own. And it was nice to have a place to call home, and it felt like home. And it was great because I got to spend that time with Dad. And it's all about growing and knowing and listening, right? So then in 2017, I had the two nervous breakdowns. And when I had these nervous breakdowns, I was in a very, very bad place. I was in a dark place, a low place, a place I don't wish upon anybody, okay? So I was scared to leave the house. I was very depressed. I wouldn't do anything all day except drink and smoke pot and watch conspiracy. Because I was heavy into conspiracies. Oh my gosh. And I just put myself into this tether. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't know when my appointments were. I was going the wrong day. I was doing everything wrong, right? Just wrong. My mom would call, or friends would call to see how I'm doing. I'd answer the phone. They'd say something. And then, eventually we'd just hang up because I had nothing to say. I didn't give a flying crap. And that's not a good place to be in. And people are worried. Of course they are, right? So I'm trying to get out of this place. I'm trying to get out. I remember I did go out. Kira dropped me off. And it was Rib Fest, I guess. And I seen one of my friends, Uncle Nick, and he asked how I was doing, and I lost my shit. I couldn't even tell him what was going on, and I ran away and hid behind a garbage can. And Kira came pick me up, and I didn't go out of the house for a while again after that. In the meantime, I had settled Dad's estate, given everybody their funds from the inheritance. There was still one thing that wasn't finalized from the house. And anybody who's going to do an executor or be an executor, keep 20,000 aside. Even after you pay everybody, keep that 20,000 aside just in case shit pops up that you're not aware of. Because that's pretty much what kind of happened with me. So I ended up having to take on that bill and not get it from the inheritance. It was just out of my inheritance. And that's okay. I don't care. That's not the point of this story. The story is it was Reliance Home Comfort. And I gather Dad rented the furnace. Rent. So I'm like, rent to own. So when I pay for it, I could take it? No. But still, I had to pay. And because I didn't pay, the price just kept going up and up and up. And it was getting stressful, more stressful. And I had no money, right? Remember, I'm down for the count. Anyway, with all that going on, they would call me 2 to 5 times a day. And I would say that's pretty much harassment at this point, right? But I knew that those calls were coming, and sometimes I'd answer, and sometimes I'd just look at the phone and cry, and sometimes I'd unplug it, and sometimes I wouldn't turn it on all day, and whatever. It was like a phone tag game that I started to actually rely on every day that I didn't realize, okay? So being as messed up as I was, when I paid the bill, and after 3 days of not getting harassed, I broke down and cried because it was like I lost a friend because I was pretty alone, pretty messed up. And I just didn't, I was just surrounded in darkness. It was just, oh, I wish this upon nobody. It's not a good place to be. But this is what I had to go to before I could start to realize I got to change everything drastically. Like, drastically. Like, what am I doing? I'm sitting in this place. I'm just allowing it to take over. And that's not good, right? So you really got to change your frame of mind. And to do that, you kind of got to have, hang on a second. you got to have some chutzpah. And for me, I was a people pleaser all my life. People pleaser, codependent, an enabler. And, it's all good. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to give my good intentions. The intentions are good, but it's not good, right? Because it's not normal. It's not that it's not normal. It's not proper. You can't do that. It's against regulations, man. You're going to mess yourself up. So the growth had been going on for years, and I needed to know. I knew. Don't start. I know I needed to change, right? So what I did was I tried to be creative, right? And I talked about this sign before, and I'm just going to put it right here. Whiskey, could you please not do that? Now I made the sign. I am. I am. I am happy. I am happy. And now I'm really happy. I'm strong. I'm loved. I am worthy. I am funny. I'm deserving. I never thought I was deserving. I'm creative. I'm beautiful. I'm outgoing. I'm special. And not this kind of special. I'm special. And I'm talented. And I'm creative. And I'm fun. And I am all this. I am. I always was. But I was locked away somewhere, right? So I made that sign, and it was really hard because with that, you got to think of things that you like about yourself, right? Well, and I didn't like myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't care about myself. Why? Because I'm a people pleaser. All I do is please everybody else, and I'm last on my list. So that started to change, right? And then through the years, changing more and more. So hang on, I'm making my notes. I'm here. I'm comfy in my house today. I got my heart monitor's on. 2 weeks with a buddy. Pain in the ass is what it is. So with this sign was the start of the true healing, right? It's a deep dive into the Heidi. Now I had to start to give gratitude instead of being pissy and angry and thinking, I'm the victim. Okay, that's huge. Don't think you're the victim in anything. You're not. You're strong. You're a warrior. Stand up and see what it is. So the first thing I did was give gratitude, as it could have been so much worse, right? And then I had the stroke too after the two nervous breakdowns. So I could have been dead, right? I could have died. I could have been half paralyzed. I could be bedridden for the rest of my life, but I'm not. I got through it. I healed quite quickly. I still got small motor skill issues and some things I have issues with, and that's fine. And I just work around it or overcome it, whatever it is, right? The change has to be positive, can't be negative. So everything happens for a reason. I truly believe that. And if something bad happens in your life, it's probably because something good is right around the corner, but you just had to break a cycle, or you had to move away from a place or a person or a thing, whatever it is, right? Could be your job, maybe your home is haunted. Who knows? Gotta get out. We have to look at things from a different perspective. And that's when I started to change the way I thought and looked at things from the other side, or maybe what they're going through. And now knowing that I'm an empath, I didn't know for so many years that I was an empath. Now knowing I could take the feeling that it is as well and take that into consideration when looking at someone or something and feeling better or worse about it and trying to figure out what to do with that issue. It's not always easy, but if you do it with an open heart, kindness, love, you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing what's in your heart. So you got to start noticing the small things around you. The small things are important, right? Those baby steps. Because when you're looking at your whole situation, it's Mount frickin' Everest, man. And you got to climb that to get to the top to feel better about what's going on. But what you don't realize, it's the small things you do every day that make that change and make that difference. Excuse me, green tea. Tastes pretty good. Life changes, right? So, the small things in life. Like I was driving the other day, sun coming through the clouds. The rays were so beautiful. I took pictures and sent them to my kids. That's a very small thing in life, but it's beautiful. It's nature. It's something we take for granted every day, but it's there. And if it wasn't, you'd miss it for damn sure. So the things that you got to see Around you are the small things. And when you look at yourself and the big picture, you got to look at your small accomplishments, okay? Every little thing helps you get to the next step. The next step might get you to that next goal. That next goal might help you start to plant new seeds. And then now, you're planting the seeds, you're making the things happen. So when you change the frame of your mind, you change the game of life. It's pretty simple, okay? You just got to be aware. No more negative self-talk, no more negative thoughts. You got to keep that shit away. And if we look back, I mean, we'll look back more detailed and more intense, but I mean, Hugh and I are talking. We're just as friends, just as much friends as we were. We don't hang out every day, whatever, but he needs something, he could call me. I need something, I could call him. It's okay. It's great. We can have suppers together with the family. There's no more anything there. It's like we've come past that. I now love myself. I like myself. I like being in the same room with myself. I don't mind being alone anymore because I'm not alone. I'm with me, myself, and I. And I'm an okay guy, and I like that. And the healing brings you to a different elevation. And when you elevate your thoughts, you elevate your perspectives, and you elevate your world. My goal, I figure, is to raise my own vibration to the point where it's kind of infectious. I want other people to feel good. I want you guys to feel as good as I do. And I mean, I'm always going through shit, but I don't care because it's supposed to happen. Whatever's going on is supposed to happen. I'm like the taxi stories I could tell you, whatever. It's supposed to happen so that I got a perspective of something or I learned something. Whatever it is, it's good stuff. Even when it's bad, it's still good stuff. You got to look at it from that perspective because happiness is a choice, right? It's a choice. So I'm going to ask you a question. What happens when you start to see things different and you start to change and you start to elevate? What starts to happen with your world, with the people around you when you stop becoming that people pleaser? I'm going to leave you with that thought because we're going to talk about that next on the next segment next week. So it is, let's think about that. The small things. What happens to the people around you? What happens to you when you start to elevate and see things in a different manner because you've got to change the perspective? Now, thank you for hanging out. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Tell somebody about the channel. Share this on Facebook so others can see it too. I'm just trying to make the world a better place. And I need your help because together we can do anything. Hey, have a good day. Bye.